Hello, everybody. Welcome to the third and final broadcast in this best-of-3 match series from Blizzcon 2011. I am Anaris, bringing you Naniwa versus Terran, Major, Kitty, Princess, whatever you know him or love him as. That is who his opponent is today here on Abyssal Caverns. Now, this is a map that did make it into the Season 4 ladder rotation, but it is rated for non-tournament play. You really don't see it too often. I'm actually really happy that they brought back Metalopolis. They eliminated the close spawning positions on that and on Shatter Temple. So I think we're going to see a lot more balanced gameplay on both of those maps. Zerg, I'm sure, will be very happy to not have to deal with that, especially on Metalopolis. Now, let's actually start to look at what we could see today. The natural expansions on this map are fairly easy to defend, especially in the early game. As you get into the later points of the match, you see there is a lot of space back here, which can be abused by drop play. Look at that, so much space. So Terran or even Protoss might decide to take that and use it to their advantage. But like I was saying, I really would not be surprised if we saw both of these players go for their expansions early. As the game progresses, however, the third bases, the high-yield expansions, they become increasingly difficult to get. We'll use the third base for Naniwa as an example. Two entrances, both wide ramps on the low ground, way far away from the natural expansion there. So if you compare it, just a hop, skip, and a jump down here as compared to the 15-mile stretch way over here to the third, and of course it doesn't get any better leading over here or to the natural or to the high-yield expansion, which has a set of destructible rocks to a very wide ramp. Someone said obnoxiously wide, but yep, they're very wide and pretty darn difficult to defend. So a lot of players, like I said, like to go for that opportunity with two bases. Well, we're going to see what's happening today. Now, so far we've seen a little bit of macro, and a little bit of pressure play from Naniwa. Likewise, Major is pretty much stuck to the same timings of the attacks. The first game, getting those siege tanks, though, I think that was a very smart move. Game number 2, didn't go for that route. It's perfectly okay. And yeah, so we do have Naniwa scouting as well as his opponent. Well, looking over here, I would not be surprised. Actually, no. Looking at the gas, he is going to be opening up with an entirely different build. He's going ahead with a second gateway, but not the second gas. So I'm sure we're going to have a Stalker coming here very soon. We've already got that Warp Gate technology on the way. This poor Zealot forced to run around like this. There's that Stalker. Again, that's pretty standard. So saving up right here, pretty interesting. I think what we actually could just see is, well, I would say a 4-gate, but I don't know. He still could do it. Still could do it. He is going to be chrono boosting his Warp Gate, though, as you see that is on the way, and I'm really looking to see if he decides to go ahead and apply pressure, which is, I believe very strongly, that's what we're going to see. Looking at the Terran, though, he's anticipating this. He's got the barracks, he's got the factory already up, he's got the bunker good to go. There is a proxy pylon just outside of the Terran player's base. Now, something the Protoss could do, and keep in mind, you can't do this in Heart of the Swarm, at least as of this video, the information that we have. Apparently, Heart of the Swarm, you cannot place a pylon at the low ground and warp up on the high ground. So that's going to make things a little bit difficult. Now, actually, pay attention here. We see he is still riding on 2 gateways, sitting around 270 minerals or so. There comes the probe. We'll actually see what he's going to be doing. If he decides to press forward with this, I'm not too sure how effective it's going to be. Again, with the bunker already up here, the probe knows this. Naniwa sees that bunker, so I don't know. I'm really curious to see how much he's actually going to be committing to this. The expansion has gone down, so I think that's a really good sign for Naniwa. Again, committing to that early pressure on the map, especially with a ramp as small as this, it generally will not end well. That being said, though, a lot of times it can. You know, you see that you're able to get a good surround here, in here, and sort of here on the ramp. So you can get a bunch of Stalkers here on the bottom, fire at the high ground, and get plenty of coverage in that way. So Terran knows this, dropping down a second bunker. You see he's got a couple Hellions here, as well as his expansion, which is currently turning into an orbital command, continuing on with the barracks. I'm really kind of looking to see if he decides to switch this off. Yeah, there we go. I'm thinking we'll probably have a starport coming here just a second. No, going to be going ahead with another barracks. All right, well, I was thinking maybe an earlier starport for possibly drop play with these Hellions, but Nope, not going to be going that route. He is just going to be trying to get a little bit of control with the map. Naniwa obviously going to be losing that poor Zealot. And looking over here, this expansion has just completed. So we're going to have that probe transfer in just a moment. Robotics facility on the way. I'm sure we'll get a Observer followed by maybe an Immortal, maybe a War Prism. I don't know. Like I said, all about the drops this game, but I do like Naniwa's wall off right there with those 2 Stalkers, preventing the mineral line harassment. Notice how he actually hasn't transferred the workers until just now. So very smart move, I think. Again, anticipating that Hellion harass. Did not want to commit his probes down there to being so vulnerable, and now, unfortunately for the Terran player, he does not have concussive shells, so this attack has actually netted him some pretty decent results. Managed to pick off a Hellion, as well as 2/3 of the health of a Marauder. So all in all, I would count that as pretty good, man. Pretty good indeed. Marine also going to be going down as well. Can he actually hit that Marauder so very close? Yes, he does. Terran is in a little bit of a pickle here. I mean, it's not that he's going to end up losing his natural or anything, but small moves like this can really put a player off balance, especially in the 3rd and final match of a series like we are in right now. Little losses like that can really have a demoralizing effect. Now, we do have to watch out here for Naniwa, as he has a lot more Stalkers than he did a minute or 2 ago, so he's doing a very good job microing, keeping those SCVs at bay. Terran obviously cannot do anything with that. Here we go, folks. SCVs coming in. Will Terran actually be able to hold this off? Yes, I believe he will, as his SCVs will be idling very close to that. Observer gets popped off right there. Again, he's just anticipating that attack. He knows that bunker is all that's keeping him here right now. A couple infantry reinforcements, very, very crucial that he brings those into the fight as soon as it's safe to do so. But you see, oh man, he actually loaded a couple SCVs in there. Keep in mind, this is after the patch that's fixed it, so that way SCVs are not repaired inside of the bunker. Flank attack there with SCVs in the low ground, keeping those Stalkers in position. Down to 1 Stalker. Attack finally finished. Taking a look at the resources lost. Look at that, neck and neck with that. Of course, that bunker being salvaged there. Very good call. 3 additional gateways going down. Again, Naniwa taking advantage of that additional income and the fact that he has delayed the income at the natural here for Terran, who actually needs to set. There we go. As I've said before so many times, everybody gets one. So, anyways, what I was going to say was that the delaying of the mining from this expansion really is going to work in Naniwa's favor. I mean, that was just a crucial hit. Looking at the workers lost, 17-1. Look at the income right now. That's not the income. There we go. 21-49. That is a brutal massacre for Naniwa to have basically dealt to his opponent, Terran, who right now is going to be moving out pretty much just to go for a little bit of map control. He knows that he has to get out and do something, whether it's just simple containment, map control, watching the watchtower as we see, or even, since he has a medevac, going for a drop. It will be fairly risky, considering the fact that, you know, his opponent does have a Colossus on the way as well as ranged. Does he have an Immortal? I thought I saw an Immortal. Yes, he does have one right there. Okay, so yeah, this drop right here, not actually going to be that effective, unless, of course, the forces are just way out of position, which it looks like they will be. I don't think he's going to see that drop. Naniwa could actually be thinking he's going to go in for containment, but no, that drop comes down. It's going to be trying to take out that robotics bay. No, picked it up at the last second. Good catch by Terran. Cannot afford to lose any units at this point. 73-105 for the current supply, as we see that dropship coming in once again. Naniwa is aware of it. Oh, so close, Terran. Gotta watch that, man. Whew. Man. Sweating this game out already at the 13-minute mark. Here we go, folks. Another infantry push coming in. Will they be able to pick off a Colossus? There's the charge fake out, realizing he was not going to be able to do enough damage to warrant the loss of those Marauders. Decided to back out, try to cut off some reinforcements. I'd say that worked out fairly well. We do have 1 Viking. Okay, that's fine. Very little anti-air. So I would say it will be fairly effective. But again, 1 Viking, combine that with the fact that we just had a warp in of Stalkers there, means that this is going to become significantly harder to deal with. We do have the Marauders coming in here as well. Going to be going for the Colossus. Will they be able to take it down? Nice micro by Naniwa, bringing that up in the high ground while he works on taking out the natural expansion. Last Viking has gone down. The one and only poor Viking. SCVs have gone down as well. 25-52. There's the GG, concluding this best-of-3 match series. Gonna be going to Naniwa, folks, so congratulations to him. He moves on to the next round. Terran gets knocked down to the consolation bracket, as it is called, and we're gonna go on to the next best-of-3 series. And my cat loves you.